Hey there, Converse. My name's Jack.
And I'm Mary.
And this week we have...
On news, spring break at Concordia.
In sports, volleyball in the spring.
In A&E, Grant talks about the Snyder Cut.
All that and more on Concordia on Air.
Hey there, Converse. So you're joining Mary and I right now talking about how excited we are for spring break. I don't know about you guys, but that first semester, I seemed pretty fine throughout, but now I feel like I need a break every single day of the week. Maybe that's just
Honestly,
regular life, but...
No, I understand that. Being a senior, this week has literally felt like midterms 2.0 for me.
Amen. I don't think you could have said it better.
This week has honestly felt like midterms 2.0 for me. Was that better?
I liked that. Yeah, it was a little bit more
better?
dramatic. It added a little bit of flair.
That's good.
So, Mary, what are your plans for spring break?
I am staying in the area because I am not spreading COVID.
I wish I could say the same, but hey, I want to go home where they feed me good and they do my laundry. I don't know why I said that like a caveman. That was kind of embarrassing. And they feed me good. No, but I'm
wow.
super excited for spring break because that week is definitely needed. And I don't know why, but all my professors during the respite days were like, oh, it's a respite day, so that means we're going to catch up on homework. And I was like, hello, no, that's not allowed. Respite means respite, which is Latin for resting. But now break, that's going to be amazing.
That's
Mary,
very
your
true.
input.
And being at this is year number 4, all I can say is that it's going to be spring break, and then the month of April, you're going to be like, where did that go? And me personally, I am terrified because I'm a senior, and that means I'm graduating. And we're not talking about what happens after graduation yet.
No, I'm at that same point. I'm thinking about because that's what everyone's saying, is that April flies by. And as a first year, I'm thinking about finals. I'm thinking about projects that I know are going to come out. We have auditions for stuff. We have a play coming out of the theater department in the next few weeks. So I'm kind of like, oh, is it really going to go that fast? Because I don't think I have that kind of time for it to go fast.
It goes fast, and honestly, you can't, I'm sorry to say, but you can't really help it, but you can try to make the best out of it. That is the thing.
First year of college will be done in a month. That's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah, and since it is your first year, tell me, what have been some of your favorite moments that you've had or learned? I don't know.
favorite moments.
Besides obviously being on this show.
The discovery of cookie dough. Fun fact, I was allergic to eggs until I was 18. Hint, I'm still 18. So I had cookie dough for the first time in DS. Kind of slapped, not gonna lie, was really good. Number 2 favorite moment so far was definitely the fat meme that was orientation, because I know it was different this year for me than it has been in the past, but it was definitely really fun, and I got to know a lot of great people through orientation. And number 3, everything that happened past 11 p.m. Because I usually go to bed at 10:30 p.m., so if it happened past 11, then I know it's a good memory.
There you go. Unless you have a strange dream, then, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Mary? What have been the top 3 moments of your senior year?
Oh, God. Can I go just top 3 moments of my college career?
I mean, that seems a lot harder, but yeah.
No,
go.
it's much easier, trust me, because
Okay.
most of them have happened in the past. I would definitely say my first one was studying abroad. Take the chance if you have it, because yes. The second one was definitely choosing my film studies minor, because I don't know, it just led me into a place where I really felt like I found something I loved. And third was getting my first COVID shot yesterday, I guess.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm still going to wear my mask, though, because I'm a responsible human being.
And that's what you're supposed to do. So if you've gotten your vaccine and you're not wearing a mask, well, I've got one word for you, and it starts with wrong. Can you figure it out? I feel like Dora the Explorer right now.
Yeah, you are really giving Dora vibes.
Yeah. Where's the ocean? I cannot find it.
I don't know. Maybe it's over at news.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Fiona. Spring break is just around the corner, but there are some things to keep in mind if you plan to travel or stay on campus. The Minnesota Department of Health recommends to get tested before you leave for any extended period of time. It's recommended that you research the restrictions and rules for any place you'll be visiting and follow them accordingly. When you return to campus, you'll be required to get tested and self-quarantine prior to receiving your test results. For those planning to stay, resources such as the library and dining services will be open with limited hours. For more information on this, for more information, check your Concordia email.
On Monday, West Fargo Police Department responded to a shooting that occurred in a residential neighborhood. The shooting happened around 7 p.m. on Monday night, March 22nd, and police say that a child was struck by the gunfire. The victim was transported to the local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries, and the shooter has been apprehended. Since June of 2020, the WFPD has received up to 19 calls about this particular house at the 900 block on Parkway Drive. And many of the residents that have been living there stated that the house in question has been nothing but trouble. The house was currently being rented out when these events occurred, and the owner was unaware of what was taking place in the home until this shooting occurred.
The city of Fargo is aiming to help its homeless population and reduce homelessness by 2023. The Homelessness Prevention Project received $3 million from United Way of Cass Clay to put towards expanding staff and resources. New staff members include housing specialists who will help with families to prevent homelessness before it happens. Progress has already been seen as the expanded staff have already prevented 79 families from experiencing this issue. State and federal funds will be put towards this project as resources are being allocated towards prevention services and outreach services. These services hope to expand in the future to better serve vulnerable populations most affected by this chronic issue.
On Monday night, materials that were promoting a white supremacist group were found on MSUM's campus. The postings of these stickers have prompted a response not only from the president of MSUM, Ann Blackhurst, but the campus's bias incident response team as well. Blackhurst says the stickers that were posted on the campus were similar to those that have been found on other campuses around the Fargo-Moorhead area. Her statement also elaborated that these acts of racism are inconsistent with MSUM values, and it is their responsibility to keep their bigotry, intimidation, and harassment, and to promote social justice in the Fargo-Moorhead area.
Pennsylvania pledges to create 50% of the state's electricity from solar power by 2023. This is the largest renewable energy project in the U.S. Pennsylvania hopes to reduce 26% of its emissions by 2025 and upwards to 80% by 2050. As impressive as this sounds, the power will be exclusively used for the state and local governments and not the state overall. They plan to implement 7 solar arrays across 6 counties, and the state has negotiated 30-year leases for land in each county for the solar farms. This project will create over 400 jobs across the state, providing a much-needed economic boost.
There have been 2 devastating shootings this past week, one in Atlanta, Georgia, in multiple massage parlors on March 16th, and another in Boulder, Colorado, at a local supermarket. Democrat senators and President Biden have been calling across party lines to make changes regarding several gun laws. Biden has gone on record stating that senators and himself have to act in order to protect the citizens of America from unnecessary gun violence. Many senators have already responded to this call for action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer stated on Tuesday that he will be bringing a gun bill that has already been passed by the House to the Senate's floor. This bill would require background checks on most gun sales and transfers, and stated that the Senate must confront a devastating truth after the lack of action presented by congressional members on an issue that has been taking place for almost 30 years. Other bills are already being discussed, such as the ban to assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and laws to correct loopholes in the background checking process. Although these bills that could be brought to the Senate floor will see a lot of pushback, especially by members of the Republican Party who may see this bill as a breach of Second Amendment rights. At the end of his statement, Biden stated that it, in this case, gun control, should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. It will save lives, American lives. Biden further elaborated by stating he would not exclude taking executive action on gun control matters. And next, an interview with Greg Carlson about the Fargo Film Festival.
Hey, Cobbers. So, just as Dylan said, I am here with Dr. Greg Carlson to discuss the ongoing Fargo Film Festival. So, how has the festival been?
Well, it started on March 18th, and this year, since it's entirely online, it will run for 10 days until the 28th.
Right, and since it is online, has scheduling kind of changed for the festival?
Well, sure, moving from an in-person event to a virtual one means that we go from synchronous to asynchronous in a sense. So people who buy tickets for as many sessions as they want to see can choose what time they want to start watching the movie. And that's been the common theme of film festivals coast to coast during the 2020 year.
And what are some of the challenges that you have faced, especially since you're on the organizing committee for this, correct?
Yeah, so the festival is organized around the categories of viewing. So there's experimental, student, narrative features and shorts, documentary features and shorts, and animation. Each one of those categories has a jury chair whose job it is to make sure that the jurors in their group watch all the films that have been submitted, and then they have a discussion to vote on what will be accepted officially into the film festival.
And with the virtual setup that you have, what are some of the challenges that you have run into, say?
Well, certainly not having a face-to-face event taking place at the historic Fargo Theater means that all of those films have to be prepared to be available on the Eventive platform, is the name of the software, the company that many film festivals have been using over the last year, and I think it's just going to keep increasing in popularity.
And with this increase, do you think that hopefully next year, if it is in person, you will kind of integrate some virtual aspects to the festival?
That is, for us, the million-dollar question, and for many film festivals. Now that we've seen that it's possible, even Sundance was a principally virtual experience just in January. Will audiences want to go back exclusively to seeing things in person, or will there be some continued demand to be able to do some virtual things so you may not be in the same town as where the festival is happening?
Yeah. And how about we talk about some of the movies then?
Sure.
What are some of the standout features, whether it's documentary or narrative, that are at the festival in your opinion?
Well, I feel like the programmers deserve a great deal of admiration and respect for the hard work they do to help bring some incredible independent cinema to audiences. We're showing, I can highlight a pair of narrative features, each one receiving an acting award. So Pablo Schreiber, who people have seen on Orange is the New Black and The Wire, he received Best Actor for a performance in a movie called Lorelei, where he plays a convict who has just spent 15 years in prison and is trying to adjust to life back on the outside. He's fantastic in it, and equally so in a film called Freeland. Krisha Fairchild plays an older marijuana farmer who is trying to adjust to the new world of legislation and kind of quote-unquote going legit with the business. Both of those films are very well done with standout performances.
They sound amazing. And what are your personal favorites then?
Well, I was on the experimental jury this year, and experimental films can be an acquired taste because they sometimes are less narrative or seem to follow fewer of the recognizable patterns that people expect when they watch movies. But I would encourage people to take a chance. There's a short experimental film called Beyond No, N-O-H, that shows a series of shots of masks from human history, including traditional masks, tribal masks, as well as like Halloween masks or pop culture masks. And it's done in a rhythmic way that just is mesmerizing and just draws you in. So it's a short film, but it's a highlight for me.
And of course, you run the 2-minute movie contest. Is there any way, any information on that you would like to share?
Definitely. This year we had a huge number of entries, and we selected from that larger pool 39 very short films to play. And so it takes about 1 hour to watch these 39 movies, and it only costs $5 for a ticket to that, available through the 28th, and you can watch it again anytime you wish. They are from all over the world and many, many states, and they're so much fun for me because some are clearly professionally produced and highly polished works, and others are just, made by kids on their cell phone.
Honestly, that sounds amazing. If you have an hour, make sure you check out the 2-minute movie contest as well as the Fargo Film Festival running until the 28th. And now, on to sports.
Play ball, sports fans. Concordia's baseball team took to Bucky Burgow Field yesterday for their home opener against the University of Jamestown Jimmies, who my brother plays for. This would be the Cobbers' 5th game of the season, whereas the Jimmies had already played 23 coming into yesterday. Jamestown certainly looked to be in midseason form as they scored 3 runs in the top of the first inning. But Concordia came back with a big inning of their own and managed to score 3 runs of their own in the bottom of the first and tie the game. Ben Gruber and Matt Swanson each picked up an RBI in the inning, with Gruber knocking the Cobbers' only extra base hit of the game. After Concordia's starting pitcher, Gabe Duncan, was able to keep the Jimmies from rustling in the second inning, Jamestown was able to pull away with 1 run in the third and 3 more in the fifth, and that led to a final score of 7-3 Jamestown. This loss puts the Cobbers at 3-2 overall on the season, and their next game is scheduled to take place on Friday afternoon at 1:30 against Minnesota Morris right here in Moorhead. The volleyball team also hosted their season opener last Saturday against Bethel University. After having their season postponed from the fall to the spring, I'm sure the players were ready to get back out on the court. However, the Cobbers may not have gotten all the rust off as they fell to the Royals 3-0. Game one was the closest game, where Bethel won by a score of 25-18, and games 2 and 3 went the way of the Royals, each by a score of 25-15. Brooke Carney and Anna Brake led the Cobbers in kills with 13 combined, while every other stat was relatively even among all Concordia players. The volleyball team will play again against St. Ben's tonight in their first road contest of the season, and the Bennies will be a tough test for the Cobbers as they made it all the way to the Division III quarterfinals last season. And now, let's go to another interview.
Hey there, Cobbers. As you already know, my name's Jack, and today I'm joined by the amazing Emily Dunlap from CEC. So Emily, if you'd please introduce yourself, your year, your major, minor here at Concordia.
Yeah, so I am a freshman student here. I'm a global studies and Spanish double major, and I'm minoring in business and cross-cultural interaction as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so today you're here advertising CEC. For
Yes.
everyone who already doesn't know, after my countless advertisements for CEC, can you please tell us what CEC is?
Yeah, so CEC is the Campus Events Commission. We have super fun events that go on campus all year round, win lots of prizes, concerts, all that kind of stuff, yes.
Awesome. All right, and then I know that you're part of the Special Events Committee, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Special Events Committee, we've got like events that don't fit into a specific category that happen. Like we have bingo night, like grocery bingo, and we've got lots of like take and makes that we do as well.
And you say take and makes, like we have something coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a painting take and make actually going on tomorrow. So from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the atrium, you can come pick up a a bag of like painting supplies and take it back to wherever you're going and paint.
And do people need to sign up for this event, or can they just show up on their own?
I believe we do have a registration link in our Instagram bio, which is CordCEC on Instagram.
And if people want to find future events, can they also go to Cord CEC as well?
Yeah, that'll actually be on the website or on the Instagram page as well. So any future events, updates will all be on that page.
And then they actually have one more event coming up after spring break. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so from what I know, it's going to be super fun. We've had it in the fall previously. It's going to be a pottery take and make, which was really popular. And and then the first people who didn't get a pottery take and make the first time around have first dibs second time around. So.
And
yes.
I'm assuming you'd have to sign up for that one as well.
Yes, you do need to sign up for that as well. Yes.
Cool. All right. And then there is another event that I didn't bring this up with you beforehand, so I'm sorry, Emily, to lay this on you. But CEC is doing a Riverskeeper event. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so that'll be a Riverkeeper event happening later, more towards the end, like in April. And that'll just be first come, first serve, sign up, and we go around the river, and I think we're picking up trash. And everything.
Yeah. To build off of you, Emily, River Keepers is a great opportunity for you guys to get involved in. It's a volunteering opportunity where you can come help CEC and other members of the community walk around the riverside and pick up trash to your delight. There's free food. Sometimes there's t-shirts. It's kind of been weird this year with COVID, but we had a huge turnout last year. And this year, our first event sadly got canceled, so I'm just putting in a plug in because we really want to come back strong for this spring semester. So thank you so much, Emily, for telling us about the paint take and make. If you guys want any more information about CEC, make sure to check out their Instagram. They have tons of stuff going on that's never, ever advertised anywhere else because of COVID, sadly. Next year, we're going to have it everywhere, of course, with posters and flyers. But this year, it's all centralized on social media, so make sure to check that out. Now, in the past, we've had a lot of fun with paint take and mates, and you did start going into grocery bingo. What other events have we done with special events committee?
Yeah, so we have done just like smaller things. We've done a lot of tabling. We've had Build-A-Bear things, take and make Build-A-Bear, which was super fun for Valentine's Day. We actually ordered a ton of Build-A-Bear things, and it came with a t-shirt, a little heart and stuffing to put inside, and it was really popular as well.
And also, for all of you that don't know, because it is the end of the year, CEC is going to start hiring again for next semester. Right now, they are wrapping up the commissioner interviews, but if you're interested in becoming a member, which we are, so pretty cool, we can definitely put in a good word for you. If you're interested in becoming a member, they will start putting out those flyers and information pretty soon for the next year. So just think about it because it's a ton of fun.
Yes.
I'm putting in a lot of shameless plugs right now for CEC. So I'm very sorry for all you viewers out there who are like, why CEC? But just do it. It's a ton of fun. Paint, take, and make this Thursday. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us. And now we're going to move on to A&E.
Good evening, movie fans.
Hello, cinephiles.
Once again, I'm Grant.
And I'm Mary.
And last week's A&E graphic will fit today's theme just the same, because instead of talking about the Oscars, we're talking about a very different kind of movie, which involves garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 4-hour-long Snyder Cut of the Justice League.
Grant, did you see the Snyder Cut?
I did not.
I did not either.
I did not see the original Justice League either, directed by Joss Whedon. But I've consumed enough Twitter discourse about the two movies where I feel like I can already form an opinion on both.
That's very true, and I agree. I also have consumed enough Twitter on just what has happened with this movie, and especially current events with Joss Whedon.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, though, who has the time to watch a 4-hour-long movie?
I don't know, although I did see that it was cut into chapters, correct?
Yeah, I saw someone, I don't know if it's officially cut into chapters, but there was an image where someone had like timestamps where you could just watch 26 minutes or 40 minutes at a time, so watch it like an episodic series.
Yeah, like a mini-series. I think I also heard that somebody did the same thing with The Irishman that came out last year. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I get having longer movies for the purpose of maybe not cramming information down the audience's throat. Mm-hmm. But we live in such a busy world. We don't need a 4-hour-long movie.
I mean, but You kind of got to respect it though, because in like today's Hollywood, everyone's trying to milk every franchise for all it's worth, get sequels. You kind of got to respect a 4-hour movie, and like Aquaman, one of the preceding movies was 2.5 hours. Batman versus Superman, another like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm usually against long movies, but if they prevent useless sequels from just draining my pockets even more, then maybe they're a good thing after all.
I mean, that's true. When I think about it, the Hobbit series was something that definitely angered fans. My mother in particular, who was a fan of the Hobbit series and Tolkien in general, during the third movie, she was just livid. And that was because they just kind of, like you said, milked it for what it was worth. They could have made it into 2 movies, which I think would have been an appropriate length, but no. So I don't know, it's just really that question of when is it appropriate to perhaps push the 3-hour mark, and when is it saying, okay, this has been going on for too long?
Yeah, and I heard they're making like a reboot or a revamp of Harry Potter on some streaming service in some way, but this time they're making it a series. So not 8 movies, but rather they're making a TV series. Who knows how many seasons it'll run?
And that's very true. I mean, based on the number of years, 7 is my best guess.
Yeah.
Since there's 7 books, but you
honestly,
never know.
Yeah, you could just go all sorts of different directions with like, instead of a movie where you have to focus on Harry Potter the whole time, you can branch out, focus on other characters. And that was actually one of the critiques of the original Justice League cut, because one of the heroes, Cyborg, he didn't have a backstory at all. He was just thrown into the mix.
Yeah. And honestly, Cyborg, he's a person of color, correct? I'm not, okay, yeah. There's been so many iterations of things that you second guess yourself sometimes. Yeah. But it is definitely that question of, okay, so why did they give maybe the white Superman this? Albeit he is a very well-known name, but then you kind of push somebody like Cyborg to the back.
But also, I feel like it was pretty rushed, like to bring this all together, because like the Avengers, their equivalent in the Marvel universe, it took them like 6, 7, 8 movies to work up to that point. But,
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a very interesting conversation, not as long as the Snyder Cut, thank goodness. But now we shall go on to A Game with Jack.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You like art, don't you? Yeah, you heard me right. Art. Because on Concordia on Air, we only get the classiest of pieces. If you tuned in 2 weeks ago, you saw our interpretation of Blindfolded Artist. And this week, you're going to be experiencing Mart Madness. Because yes, Mary and I have pulled together some of Concordia's On Air's greatest pieces for this segment. Now, today, we'll be having Mary and I, who's right over the camera. You can come in.
Okay, it's too close.
Oh, it's too close?
Never mind.
Ah, there we
Hi.
go. We found her. All right. So Mary and I will be presenting pieces of art for the Mart Madness. And each round, Grant will be judging which one is the best. We'll have a bracket system just like the basketball tournament. And eventually we'll get down to the top 3 choices. 3 choices where Grant will have to decide what is the #1 art piece produced at the Concordia on Air studio today. So our first round, which one did you grab?
Oh, you're going to have to see. I grabbed my masterpiece.
Oh, I was going to organize them a certain way.
Oh, I thought you already had organized them.
I know which
considering
one.
they
Okay.
were 2 by 2.
Yeah. Okay.
What, you're putting these 2 up against each other?
Yeah, 2.
You break my heart.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This first one is called Muppet Mongolia.
Also known as Gonzo with teeth.
Oh, no, the round is called Muppet Mongolia.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got ya.
So this piece of art is called Gonzo with Teeth. It was made by the one and only Mary Ballstad. Mary, what piece do you have today?
I have another piece that I made. Very happy with it. It is called Existential Kermit.
All right, now we're going to go over to Grant, and Grant is going to decide which one of these 2 pieces is moving on to the final round.
Well, I see both iterations of classic Muppets with slight variations, but to me, one is just more bold. One takes the risk. One takes the leap and is modern and not quite as derivative as the other. And for that, I have to give it to Existential Kermit.
All right, I'll take that one to the winner's circle, which is this under table right here that you guys conveniently can't see. The next round is called Character Charisma. Now, I am presenting a work by someone who is an anonymous artist but it is Mike Wazowski asking, you okay? Mary, what do you have?
Well, this beautiful piece is by our lovely Jack Lanners here, and it is called Eat the Rich, Toad says. You got a little, yeah. Eat
So
the
Grant,
rich.
who's moving on to the final round?
Each piece asks so many questions, each piece so bold in its presentation, but one is politically sound and is just a sign of the times, and for that I must give it to Toad Says Eat the Rich.
All right. Now we got one more. Here we go.
Pretty great.
Now this one, which one do you want?
That's
Oh,
one.
you want that one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is called Pop Culture Pandemonium, this round, not this painting. This painting that I have here, I did myself. It asks the teddygrams, please. Mary, on to you.
This one may not be as elaborate as yours, Jack. It is by the same anonymous who had done You Okay? This one is called simply Cracker Sleeve of Elmo in down there. Cracker Sleeve.
So Grant, final round, final contestant. Who will be moving on?
I feel I've seen both many times, but one just strikes me as amazing, just flawless in its execution, and one is just lacking. And for that, I have to give it to the teddygrams, please.
All right, a final blow that I heard from Mary's
Yeah.
exasperated sigh. So Mary,
Thought I
if
was
you'll
gonna
help
go
me
3 for
present.
3, but hey.
All right, here you are. And then I'll hold my two pieces. So, Grant, first, who will be winning third place? Either Existential Kermit, Toad Says Eat the Rich, or the Teddygrams, please.
As much as I respect fellow gamers and video games as a medium, I have to give third place to Toad, Eat the Rich.
Beautiful. All right, well, Toad takes a seat in the bronze chair. Who will be our number one?
Well, two beloved fictional characters, Kermit and Sailor Moon, but I feel one is just more bold. It takes the leap. And by that leap, I mean the frog is the winner.
Yes! You gotta love just that pistachio head on Kermit. That is how you should start it. The pistachio, followed by the rest of the body, screaming out in existential pain.
And if you want to draw a Sailor Moon, you should start out with the gun that she has always carried.
They just censored it in America.
Yes. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us on Concordia on Air. We will not be back next week, so do not plan on tuning in. But the week after that, I don't know what day that is. Be there, be square, or you're not a corn cobber. Have a great April Fool's and spring break, everyone. See you next time.